Hi, Tara here. Good to be with you today. And if you are returning and joining us, I just want to say welcome. And if you're watching for the first time, I just want to say welcome to you as a viewer. I want to jump into the topic today, and that is the key strategy to landing a contract and setting yourself apart from your competitors in business, okay? And the reason that I'm so passionate about this topic, I am a mom of three children, and two of them which have special needs. And so this requires me to work around my children and my children's schedule and be there for them. And I get to be there for them. It's something that I love doing. I get the best of both worlds. And so, one thing that really makes a difference for me is not only showing up for my family, but also showing up in business. It's really important. And how I treat, hey, Carol, nice to have you. How I treat my personal relationships with my friends and my family is the same way that I like to do business, and vice versa, right? I'm very relational. I like to keep things very relationally focused, okay? So the first things first, okay? Whenever you're wanting to set yourself apart from your competitors, you do not want to smother them with information, okay? But you do want to make sure that you make a connection, a meaningful connection with them. Let them know how genuine you are about connecting with them, okay? And don't just say, hey, if you want my services, just contact me, okay? It is true, some people will reach out, but sometimes people don't know what they don't know, right? So they need to know about you and your services, okay? So you can just start by building a friendly connection, especially if you have not been in contact for a while. I'd say 6 months or more needs a little bit more rapport building, right? Maybe even 3 months. Okay. And you could just have a small chit chat conversation. Okay. And you could take all the tips that I've shared in the past. Hey, couldn't help but notice that you were looking for somebody that can help you with XYZ needs. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you're looking for? Okay. And if they tell you and you really can't help them, don't feel bad, first of all, about referring them out. I've had to do that. But it makes you look more credible too. And it makes you look more like the expert, right? And that you generally and genuinely have their best interest at heart. Okay? So you really want to make sure that you're doing that you're making that connection, okay? And that you're establishing what it is that they truly need, okay? And if they say, yeah, what can you tell me about your services? Don't just say, hey, here's a portfolio of my services either, okay? Instead, you tell them, say, hey, can you get with me in my schedule for 20 to 30 minutes to make an educated decision? I really want to share some info that will allow me to best serve you, okay? And, but I want to talk with you a little bit more about it first. Just give me about 20 to 30 minutes of your time. When is a good time that we can connect for 20 to 30 minutes in the next day or two? Okay, don't go beyond that. Okay, because otherwise there's no urgency. Just say, hey, man, I really need to get with you. I think that I really have something that can help you with ABC. Okay, schedule the appointment, okay? And don't get on the phone with somebody that didn't schedule an appointment with you, because they don't see urgency in that, and they need to respect your time. Because if you're doing business with them, okay, in any sort of way, they need to know that you mean business. Yes, you care about them, and you let them know that too. Hey, I promise, just 20 to 30 minutes, just this once. And I also want to catch up with you at another point, but I really want to get this information in front of you. I know you've been looking at getting this information for a while now, and I want to see if this could be a good shoe-in and a good working relationship potentially for us. Okay? And schedule that appointment. Don't get on the phone till that appointment is scheduled. Okay? Once you get the appointment scheduled, okay? Here's something that I really like doing, and this is a key strategy that I do implement. I implement this in all aspects because, yes, I have a health and health and wellness business. Yes, if I could spit the words out here. But I also do coaching, both business and relational, right? Okay. And I do some things on the side, consulting wise, with social media marketing and coaching from that angle as well. So because of that, I do this standard across the board. What I do is I actually say, hey, I'm so excited. And I do this a couple days before the appointment, okay? Hey, I'm so excited that I get a chance to connect with you personally. I'm really looking forward to our meeting. I'm going to be praying about it and uplifting it, okay? At the same time, I really want to know specifically, because nothing's dynamic until it's specific, right? I really care about our relationship, and I want to know how to best serve you and your needs. I want to know specifically what I can pray over so that way when we do connect, I can bring my all to the table for you. Okay, I want to share mutually with you, and I want to see if this is going to truly be a good fit. In order for me to do that, I'm going to send you a quick survey, okay, for you to fill out. And it's going to specifically be tailored to your company, business, ministry, however you need to word it. Okay, and I'm going to send this for you just real short. Just go ahead for me before our appointment on this day at this time. Remind them of the time. And I want you to go ahead and fill that out before we connect again. Okay, just take the 2 to 3 minutes, fill it out, and just return it to me. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. I'm going to read your responses. I'm going to carefully and mindfully pray and read over this. Okay, because it goes with my conversation yesterday. Not everybody are you meant to do business with. You have to discern and know and ask the Lord, whether that door's meant to be open or closed. Okay, that was yesterday's live. Okay, so I want you to still keep that in mind. Okay, you not everybody you're meant to flock with and do business with, and you don't want to be desperate about it either. You really want to make sure that when you take a look at this survey, because what this survey is going to do is it's going to tell you several things. Okay, it's going to tell you, first of all, what kind of services that they're looking for, and you're going to want to target questions specifically relating to what it is that they need assistance with. Okay, it's going to tell me more about them, what they're looking for, what their budget looks like, okay? And you're going to be as specific as possible when you ask these questions, because it's going to tell you whether or not potentially you're going to be a good fit. Now, however, I say that you still need to keep your appointment, okay? You still need to keep your appointment with that person, okay? Because that's really important. You want to do your due diligence, okay? Because sometimes when you look at a survey, it's going to tell you where you need to ask your questions come time of connecting and interviewing, because they're going to be doing a little bit of interviewing with you because they want to make sure that they're in good hands. At the same time, you want to interview them and make sure that they're going to be a good match for the services that you provide, and that you can passionately, in your heart of hearts, say yes and do the business not just halfway either for them. Whatever their needs are, you want to be able to come to the table and say, okay, I've looked at, A, B, and C. Here's where I feel like I can fill those needs, which you wouldn't know that if you didn't do the survey. You could probably gauge it by asking enough questions during your appointment time, but it's really important to fill out a survey and to send that to them, because that will show you, and it'll make you look professional. It'll make you stand apart. And it'll show that you really have been thinking of them and thinking of how it is that you can help benefit them, and at the same time have a mutually beneficial working relationship together. And you want to make sure that once you've established what's in the survey and whether or not you can assist them, you can bring that to the table and say, hey, I really do think I can provide you with XYZ. Here's what I would charge, either weekly. This is what I would charge per itemized, whatever thing that you need done. Okay, if that's the route that you want to go, if that would fit your budget better, or I can do simply put a flat rate for so many X amount of hours. Okay, let's say. All right, however you want to dish that out. Because you do want to give your clients a few options for being able to be in a position to work with you. Okay, but at the same time, you want to gauge that with the value of what you bring to the table in your time for money, time for dollars, right? You want to make sure, as much as you care about that person and you really do want to assist them and bring the best to the table, at the same time, you have that expectation of them, right? And so you want to lead with that posture. You want to say, hey, I really mean business. I really do want to do business with you. Okay, and in order to do that, I need you to fill out the survey, right? And between the survey, okay, and in between connecting with them, you should get a good idea whether or not it's going to be a good working relationship. Remember, whoever has control makes the decision, okay? So you want to stay postured the best that you can. And once you get that survey back, if they're really serious, they'll fill the survey out and you'll get an email notification. And the service that I use to do surveys is SurveyMonkey. It's totally free. Okay, there's so many different formats in which you could actually set up the survey. And, it's real simple. It's free. You can copy the link. You could choose how you send it out. You can send it by email. You can send it by, Facebook if you use that, by Messenger. You can post the link on your wall, but I encourage you not to do that because I don't feel like that's as personable or personal. Okay. And once they fill out that survey and you receive that, you can read over the responses. And the thing is, you can pray about it because anything that you put God in the center of is really going to flourish, right? Because what you're doing is you're saying, okay, Lord, they filled out the survey. I'm surrendering this to you. Yes, I include the Lord in my business. I include the Lord in all areas of my life. Okay. And so what you're saying is, I surrender this, and Lord, if it really is your will, you leave the door open or you close that door that no man can open. Okay. And you're surrendering it to him, and he's going to show you, Lord, what is it that I need to know about this person? What is it that I need to come into the appointment with? What are their biggest concerns? How do they feel about things? Where do they stand? And it's really going to show me those things. Okay. The Lord is going to take the time because I honored this person by not only following up, when they requested, hey, does anybody know anybody that does this, or this? Or I personally took the time to connect initially and I followed up and I gave them a survey. They've now filled it out. Now they know that I'm serious about showing up for that appointment time that we made. Okay. And then by the time I connect with that and we have that conversation, you better believe I'm either going to start or I'm going to end in prayer. Okay. And then from there, I'm going to ask the closing question, okay, of whether or not they really want to work with me. Now, don't get discouraged if it requires, maybe 1 or 2 more meetings just to solidify everything. Okay. Sometimes people need to make sure. Okay. But you honor that person. You don't smother them, but do your due diligence because the fortune is always in the follow-up. Okay, you'll hear that from mentors all over. And it's so true. The fortune is in the follow-up. Okay, who gets the business? The person that doesn't smother, but kindly follows up each step. So, on the flip side, after I've connected with them, I'll give them a couple of days and I'll say, okay, before we connect again, okay, when I'm still on the phone with them, and I don't do it by message, okay, I always do it over the phone, okay. And then what I'll say to them is like, hey, I know you said you need a couple of days to make a decision. Okay, let's go ahead and tentatively schedule a time to go ahead and reconnect. I'm going to go ahead and set that appointment time so that we can follow up and, whatever loose ends need to be tied, we can take care of them then, and then we can move forward from there. Does that sound good to you? Okay, because you're still maintaining your posture. And what that tells them is, hey, I'm still in control here, but I still do really want to help you. Okay. Now, if you cannot and you've established through the survey and the call that it's not going to work out just because maybe, what it is that they're wanting isn't exactly in line with what you provide, that's okay. Give them a few referral sources. Hey, I know that I may not be able to fulfill this, but I've got several names if you would like their name and numbers, or I can get in touch with them and connect them with you. Would you like for me to do that? Okay. And that makes you look good because then if they know someone eventually that has what you can provide, you'll get the referral back in return because what you sow, you always reap. Okay. So if you want to be the first number 1 referred person, then you need to start referring people and finding ways to connect and network people. People always do business with people, always do business with people they feel connected to, that they can trust and they can count on. Okay, so that will set you apart from your competitors in that way. Then when I go to follow up, if it is a match, okay, I could say, hey, you needed a couple of days. Where are we at with things? You close everything, ask the closing questions, and then close the contract, for goodness sakes. You have favor, walk in it, okay? And if you need help knowing what questions to ask, we can always get in touch, however I can help partner with you, feel free to connect with me about this, because I've been doing it all day long. And what it does is, instead of initially taking, yes, I still do like a first 45-minute session for free, okay, when I first initially connect with them, because I want to see if it's going to be a good match, okay? But what it does is it takes the guesswork out and all the hassle of going back and forth between Messenger or an email, because time is dollars, right? And you could be meeting with other people in that time that you're going back and forth, or you could just put a better use to time. I'll put it that way. Okay, so you want to make sure you're being effective with your time, that you're modeling and demonstrating that across the board. And the Lord is seeing that too. So you really want to be careful with that. And you want to make sure that, what you're doing is going to be effective in the marketplace. You're going to be making a difference in that way. And so you just want to make sure that you set boundaries for your time. If it's not the best use of your time to be going back and forth, take the guesswork out of it, send the survey. The survey has all the questions there. They can fill it out and get that back to you. And in the meantime, you could be praying, during your prayer and devotion time in the morning over it. And then that just adds the Holy Spirit into everything. That adds the Lord and puts them in the middle of everything. And that puts the other person at ease, knowing, hey, not only was I thinking about you, but I also prayed for you. You can let them know that, hey, I've really been praying over this. I'm really excited to connect with you. I'm excited to learn more about, what it is that you're looking for, and we can potentially be a match. And it just really sets you apart. You keep that professionalism about you. You get a survey out. If you have a website, you can even add these surveys to your websites. I mean, it's a really great way to do business, and it shows people that you're serious and that you really care, that you would take the time out to really hear from them. People want to know that they're validated, but they also want to know that they're heard. I hope that this brought you some sort of value. I thank you so much for taking the time out to connect. I've got to scoot now to go get my daughter. If you're just jumping on, hey, do your due diligence. Make sure that you really catch the replay to this, because it was super good. And if you have any questions, if you want to learn more about how potentially we could partner together, if I could pray with you over your business or over what it is that you're doing work-wise, or if you have any questions at all about today's live, you want to learn more about what it is that I do and about the surveys, and how can you jump aboard, or how can we potentially partner in me helping you in your business to set yourself apart and make yourself look even more professional, I would love to connect with you. So here's what I'm going to do for you. Just make sure that you are going back and watching the replay, because you may have missed something. And if it brought you some sort of value, do me a favor and share this with people that you care about. You'd share it on your wall or to somebody privately, get the word out. But I'm going to leave my contact information in the comment section below this video. And then that way you'll personally know how to get in touch with me. There are several ways that you can do that. First, if we're friends on Facebook, I should say that. You can feel free to message me privately, and I'll get in touch with you that way. Even if we're not friends, I do check my others folder, so I'll get a notification that you're wanting to connect. And then the other way is if you want to email me, that'll be there as well. And then the other way is if you click on my actual link. I'm going to leave that in the comments section. And then if you click on that and fill out your name and your email, I'll get a notification that way through email that you're wanting to connect. So any way that I can partner with you, be there for you, even if it's just prayer, or even if it's business, whatever way it looks like, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to really genuinely connect with you. And I'm going to do my best to connect with you here tomorrow as well. Time is to be announced at the moment, but just stay tuned. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week. Don't forget to catch the replay, and I will catch you on the flip side tomorrow. See you on the other side. Bye for now.